Unless you've been living under a rock recently, you've probably heard that Glitch Productions' show Murder Drones, a fairly popular TV show among all of their series that they've produced, was put on Prime Video. The entirety of this situation of Murder Drones being put onto Prime Video was very complicated, and I'm just going to compile everything that happened basically on the day of the announcement, which, if you think it was all just, a community post and a YouTube short on the Glitch Productions channel, you are very, very wrong. I'll also give my thoughts on the overall situation, and also what we could expect for the future of Glitch Productions and indie animation as a whole. First off, I'm going to talk about what this deal includes and what it means. Glitch Productions partnering with Amazon Prime or Prime Video through the information of a community post and also just a short, basically just restating everything that was in the community post, tells us that they are still having 100% creative control over all of their shows, meaning there is no corporate meddling as far as we know. However, it is led to believe that Prime Video or Amazon will be giving funding to Glitch Productions for their shows. They will also be having or housing all of future funded by Amazon Prime Video shows on their platform. However, they will still be released to YouTube. This also means that Digital Circus is the only Glitch Productions show that would be on Netflix, which I guess is kind of weird, but whatever. Now, Glitch still states that they are an independent company, which is technically still true since they weren't bought out by a larger company. They are just partnering and getting funding from one. However, it is a little bit of a moral dilemma or an intellectual dilemma or whatever you want to call it about whether they are still indie or not, which I do not feel like getting into. You can go watch Vanity Moss video on it. I watched it and it was amazing. You should go watch it. Also, just a little side note, the promotional art that they released while announcing that Murder Drones is going to be on Prime Video has so many mistakes on it. It's actually kind of funny. I'm not trying to disrespect the artists or anything. It's just kind of shocking that these things made it past like the people or whatever who overlook it. I don't know. I just thought I'd mention that. Now, for the future of Glitch Productions and the rest of their shows, I'm guessing that this deal, as long as Prime Video funds part of these shows, that they'll be also placed on Prime Video. I would assume, and I would also hope, that they would still be released on YouTube at least at the same time or even sooner than they are released on Prime Video, but I would expect to see basically all future Glitch Productions shows on Prime Video. Now, how exactly could this impact Glitch Productions and their shows? Well, a good example of this, or at least a prediction that I'm going to make, is that The Gaslight District, a pilot that recently came out, and although it received a lot of love, it didn't exactly receive a lot of views, and in one of my past videos, which you should definitely go check out, I expressed my concerns about how The Gaslight District may not get an entire season, as it has a low amount of views, which probably translates to a lack of funding through merch and also ad revenue, which isn't exactly reliable. And despite this seeming like a pretty large number of views, considering the fact that if they were to make an entire season, gradually, as we've seen the same pattern go on with the Digital Circus and also Murder Drones, the view count slowly but steadily goes down, which means that greenlighting a whole season for Glitch Productions would probably be a net negative. However, with the new funding from Prime Video, they're probably able to make an entire full season 1, as they now have the funding to pay their animators to make the season. So if you're a big fan of the Gaslight District, congratulations, you're probably getting a full show, although probably not exactly guaranteed. If you remember what I said at the beginning of this video, I talked about how not exactly everything about this deal was all sunshine and rainbows. There was a few things that went wrong. On the same day that the announcement was made about Murder Drones being on Prime Video, Inferno, another Murder Drones YouTuber that makes Murder Drones content, along with just everything Glitch Productions wise, made a community post talking about an inciting incident about how a few of his videos were claimed by Amazon for using Murder Drones clips or footage. This obviously caught the attention of other Murder Drones YouTubers, two of them being the Dire Duck and Yagster. They sent out basically a message to all the Murder Drones YouTubers they had contact to, and basically notified everyone in the community about how this was a major problem, starting the hashtag #SaveMurderDrones. Now, as far as I know, the videos were being only claimed, which means all the revenue that the video makes is basically just being given to Amazon, which, one, isn't fair because in the first place it shouldn't even be being claimed, since Murder Drones is an independent animated show made by Glitch Productions, which has never enforced any type of copyright claims on any videos that uses clips from any of its shows, which means it is definitely Amazon's fault, and two, it is unfair to claim money from YouTubers that put their hard work and effort into making a video, only for it to be stolen, basically specifically by one of the largest companies in the world. Now, if you think this is just a minor problem still for some reason, let me just tell you that there are hundreds of videos made about Murder Drones or with Murder Drones clips in them, which means that hundreds of videos had the possibility of being claimed, along with perhaps extending to Murder Drones AUs, comics, fan projects of any sort, art shared on either YouTube through community posts, videos, or even on Twitter. So this was a very, very big deal. Gagster made a video on it, Con Goatman made a tweet about it, and then eventually Xander, the creator of End of the Line, which is another Murder Drones project or fan project, tweeted about it on Twitter, which eventually got the attention of Glitch Productions themselves, who stated that Amazon is currently trying to fix the problem, which is good. If you're wondering where I was during all of this, I was asleep because I was dealing with family issues, and I would rather deal with those things than a goofy little show online. And it's also partially why I'm making this video and talking about it, because I probably should bring awareness to this. Now, whether this deal was a good idea or not kind of still remains to be seen. We're gonna have to see how things play out over the next year. On the one hand, Glitch Productions now has more funding to make even better shows with better animation, along with giving creators the opportunity to continue their shows, such as Part-Time Sequel with the Gaslight District. On the other hand, we have fiascos that happened literally less than a week ago, or more depending on when I get this video out. I do really hope this is going to be a net positive for Glitch Productions, since they are getting more funding, and I really hope the animation for all their shows, especially with the introduction of 2D animation with the Knights of Guinevere, really starts to improve. I know it's been like really good for the past few episodes that's been released for each show, but it could get even better, and I'm really excited to see where they take the company in their future shows. However, part of me also wants to be a little bit negative about it, since I'm pretty sure there will still be more problems to happen in the future as a result of partnering with Amazon Prime, but then again, we're probably just gonna have to see and wait for future stuff to arrive to the present or something. I don't know. Now, if any other problems arise, whether it be a result of the Prime Video deal with Glitch Productions or not, we need to make sure we did exactly what we did, or even better of what we did with what we did. God damn, I said what we did like 4 times in this one sentence. With the copyright claim issue. We rose awareness for it, we made Glitch Productions know about it, and we made them fix it pretty much all in the span of 24 hours, as to my knowledge. And if any other problems arise in the future, we need to do exactly what we did, if not better. Obviously with no toxic spamming or doxing or anything of the sort, but we can't allow things or problems to slip through the cracks and just become the norm. If the copyright issue were to be allowed to continue without anyone calling it out, I wouldn't be able to make Murder Drones content anymore, or perhaps even art or other fan projects of Murder Drones wouldn't be allowed to even exist. So we need to make sure we address the problems that happen in the future, if even there are any, and make sure they come to an end and we stop them. And that's pretty much everything I have to say about this topic. If you have your own opinions, feel free to leave them down in the comments to help boost my video, along with leaving a like if you enjoyed me talking or agreed with something I said, along with subscribing because I want big number on my channel. Also, if you think this is a sign of Murder Drones Season 2, you are completely delusional and you need to cope differently or at least better. Go get some help.